such a thing which is there in the earth, naturally, like the gold, the silver, the copper, the iron, the bronze, the brass, yes, all these things. And then there are, Imam Rahmatullahi alayhi, he said that two types of ma'adin are there. Al-ma'adin al-saliba wal-ma'adin al-sa'ila. Al-ma'adin al-saliba, saliba means solid mines, like as I mentioned. And al-ma'adin al-sa'ila, the flowing minerals like gasoline, petrol, diesel, kerosene oil. So Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad, rahimahumullah, they are of the view that nothing is in that if that is found in an unclaimed land. If that is found in owned land, so that's for the owner. If that is found in government land, so that's for the state. But there is a land which is not claimed neither by an individual nor by the government. Got it? So that is al-ardul mubah. So in ardul mubah and in mubah, the general rule of Sharia is as-saydu liman akhazahu. They pray, P-R-E-Y. Pray is for one who caught it. So the fish in the ocean, whosoever caught it, he owned it. So same is the case of these mines. But as these were there in the land, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put it. So 20% of that will go to the state and 80% will go to the one who found it. Got it? So now, the other thing which we talked about, that the jizya and the kharaj is actually a tax which is fixed on agricultural land of non-Muslims in Islamic states. Got it? And jizya, which is fixed on individuals. And as I told you, and the same is the Mazhab Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi. As if Sayyidina Umar, radiyallahu ta'ala an, he fixed 12 dirham annually on an earning hand, 24 on a medium guy, and 48 per annum on a rich man. That everyone who is working and earning, he has to pay 12 dirham per annum. That is nominal. That's what? Nominal. That's symbolic. Only to find out that they have subjugated themselves to the Islamic State. They are not traitors. They are not traitors. And 24 on medium, while 48 on rich. Doesn't mean he is Elon Musk or he is Waqas. So anyhow, but they are rich. Even though Waqas, yes, he has little bit, but still he is considered a rich guy. So he has to 48, and Elon Musk will pay 48 as well. Got it or not it? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Khulafa Rashideen rizwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, they used to give instruction about Ahlul Zimma, the non-Muslim citizens of Islamic State, to be soft and kind to them. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, whosoever will cause a trouble to an Ahlul Zimma, فَأَنَا حَجِيجُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, I will contest case on the behalf of that non-Muslim on the day of judgment. So if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will contest against you, so what do you think? He said, because you caused a trouble to a non-Muslim who subjugated himself to Islamic State. And once again, to refresh your memory, that who could be the Ahlul Zimma in Islamic State? So according to Jumhur, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahumullah, the Jews, the Christians and the Majus. Because Jews and Christians, they are min alladhina utul kitaba hatta yu'tul jizyata an yadin wa hum saghirun. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, qatilul ladhina la yu'minuna billahi wa la bil yawmil akhir min alladhina utul kitaba hatta yu'tul jizya an yadin wa hum saghirun. So basically, the text of Quran is saying about Jews and Christians. But the hadith of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, radiyallahu ta'ala an, which he told to Sayyidina Umar, when an area of Majus and Magians were conquered, that what should be done with these non-Muslims. So he said that Amir al-Mu'mineen, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said regarding Majus, that Sannu bihim sunnat Ahlul Kitab. Treat them the way you are treating Ahlul Kitab. So thus, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, he fixed zimma and tax on them as well and protected them. Got it?
Right.
But Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayh, he says that every non-Muslim, even though if he is a mushrik like Hindu and Sikh and so on, so he said if he subjugates himself to Islamic State, so he could be considered Ahlul Zimma. So now all over the world, we are taking into consideration the madhab of whom? Imam Malik. The fatwa is wal fatwa ala qawli Malik. In every mazhab, in Shafi'iyya, in Hanabila, in Hanafiya, so we are giving fatwa based on the mazhab of Imam Malik. Otherwise, if we will go by what Imam Abu Hanifa said or Shafi said or Imam Hanbal said, so then we have to kill all of them. That you don't have any right to live. But thank to Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayh, he generalized the rule. And he said that what is the base? That they are non-Muslim. He said now they are non-Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-kufru kullu millatan wahida. All of them are considered kafir. And all the kafir, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are one and the same thing. When one is the same, rule will be one and the same. So Jazahullah. So Jazahullah. Who? Imam Malik. And all of them. Got it? So anyhow, Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayh, he has related a story in his famous book. He has a few books. Yes, in Usul al-Fiqh, his book is actually the base of the mazhab of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayh regarding Usul al-Fiqh. But that is not found. Only the references are found. But he was the one who has written the jurisprudence book in Fiqh Hanafi, who? Imam Abu Yusuf, not Imam Muhammad. Imam Abu Yusuf. But his famous book, which is such a famous book that is translated to almost every language of the world. That's such a famous book in revenue. And that is called? Huh? Abu Yusuf, you are looking into the book. You saw it? Yeah. When I said that, what? So Abu Yusuf, he is putting the glasses on his eyes, yes, not to be caught that I am cheating. Yes. Kitab al-Kharaj, that's very famous book of Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayh, which he has written for Khalifa Harun al-Rashid when he was Chief Justice of Banu Abbas. So he has written, yes, the revenue system, that Kitab al-Kharaj is considered the base. Number one there, and then Imam Abu Ubaid, he has written a book, Kitab al-Amwal. So these are the two basic books for revenue for Islamic State. Got it? So in Kitab al-Kharaj, Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayh, he has related a story. That Sayyidina Umar, radiallahu ta'ala, he was going on his way somewhere. So he saw an old man bent, holding a stick in his hand and knocking a door. Yes. And he was almost half blind. Yes. So he was doing like this. Yes. And he has a bowl in his hand and putting it inside, means he was begging. So Sayyidina Umar, radiallahu ta'ala, he saw him. And he came to him and he put his hand on his shoulder. And he said, man, ma hadha dhullu wal hawan. Why this begging? You are putting yourself dead down. Begging will put you down. Human has his own honor and dignity. That's against the honor and dignity of a human that he will be begging. So he said, ma hadha dhullu wal hawan. So he didn't notice that is a Amir Mu'minin. He said, Al-Zimma. What is it? Al-Zimma, the tax. Because the time is very much close to pay the tax. And I have been turned blind and I'm too weak, so I cannot work and I have to pay the Zimma. So Sayyidina Umar right away he said, La maghfir li ya Rabb. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And he got his hold and he said, come. He brought us to masjid. Fada'a Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Abu Ubaidah was his treasurer. What is treasurer? So he summoned him. Abu Ubaidah came. So he said, what's going on? He said, look at this old man. He was begging. I saw him. I posed a question like this. He said, Az-Zimma. I asked him, who are you? He said, I'm a Jew. I'm Jew, but now I cannot earn. I was paying the Zimma, but now I cannot earn, so that's why I'm begging to pay the tax. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said a sentence, subhanallah, that must be written with gold. He said, Abu Ubaidah, Ma ansafnahu law akalna shabibatahu thumma nakhzuruhu fil haram. Mawli Ahmad, you feel the power of this sentence? He said, كيف ما نواجه ربنا ورسولا لو أكلنا شبيبته ثم نخذله في الحرام. On the day of judgment, how we will face Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam if we have eaten up the youth of this man, because he was earning, so he was paying to the state as well. We have eaten it up. Now when he is old, so we are putting him down and we are making him zaleel, that he will be begging. So he said, from now onward, anybody who will turn 60, so his tax is dropped. His taxes, because he is old, his tax is dropped. Number one. And number two, he will be given financial support from the state. He will be given financial support from. That's what I told you. That social security system for the first time was introduced by Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. Got it? And that's why nowadays, in what states? You don't remember. I mentioned a few times. Sweden, Norway, yes. What are their technical name? These states? Huh? There's a special name for that. The state's name? Scandinavian countries. These are called Scandinavian countries. So in these Scandinavian countries, their social security system, which is written in books and they are doing it, they call it Umar laws. They call it, when they decide a case, they just say according to Umar laws. According to Umar laws. The rules introduced by Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. But inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is a shame for us, the Muslims. The non-Muslims who follow Umar, and we are trashing his rules. It's not a matter of shame. What do you say? Yes. Allahu Akbar, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So anyhow, Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayhi, who was the Chief Justice of Khalifa Harun Rashid. And as I told you that the Chief Justice title, for the first time all over the world introduced, that was the time of Harun Rashid. And this title was given to Abu Yusuf for the first time. Before that, there was no book Qazi al-Quzat. Got it? Everybody was called Qazi. Doesn't matter how many Qazis are there, but all of them, they were Qazis. But when Khalifa Harun Rashid was insisting upon Abu Yusuf to be the Qazi, so he put a condition. He said that my Sheikh never accepted that. He got beaten for in the time of Banu Umayyah and time of Banu Abbas. Both. But he never accepted this status, this position, this title. Imam Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi. Got it? And you are insisting upon me. So I have a few conditions. He said, yeah, go ahead. What is that? So he said that number one, you as Khalifa will never approach me. And when you will not approach, so no anybody else in the authority is allowed to approach me. Got it? And number two, he said appointment of Qazis in the state. Appointment of Qazis in the states. That will be my responsibility. You have nothing to do with the appointment. He said, done. He said, the two conditions he put. And then Khalifa said that, Imam, now I have two conditions. Now I have two conditions. So he said, what are those two conditions? That number one, I will give you the title of Qazi al-Quzat. You will be the chief Qazi, Qazi al-Quzat, because you have to appoint the Qazis. And number two, our color of Banu Abbas is black. Because at that time, the color of Banu Hashim was the color of the followers of Mawali of Ahlul Bayt, which we call Shia. That was green. Their color was green. Black was not their color. Now it became their color. They grabbed it from Banu Abbas. Black was actually the color of who? Banu Abbas. So he said that as you are chief, or we say you are Khalifa on that side, judiciary side, and I have this gown. My governors, they are putting on this gown. So you will be putting on a black gown as well. This black gown for Qazis are introduced all over the world from Wilson time. Got it? Or not? So now all over the world, the judges in Muslim country and non-Muslim countries, when they are coming to the court, what type of gown they wear? The black gown. So this is sunnah. It means that all the judiciary are muqallideen of Qazi Abu Yusuf. Got it? Even American judges, they are muqallideen of who? Qazi Abu Yusuf. Rahimahullah. So he wrote a letter to Harun Rashid that Amirul Mu'minin, be kind towards the Zimmis, non-Muslim citizens. Inquire about their situation. So they may not be dealt unjustly, nor they may be tortured or teased. If there is some responsibility you are putting on them, it must be to their approach, not beyond their scope. And that is not allowed to take anything extra from their belongings, but only the zimma which the state has fixed. And Sayyidina Umar, when he was on his deathbed, so in his wasaya, one wasiya was about Ahlul Zimma, that please, ittaqullah fi Ahlul Zimma, fear Allah regarding non-Muslim citizens of Islamic State. Don't do any injustice to them. And Allama Mawardi, you know Allama Mawardi? He is as famous in social sciences and especially in political science as Allama Ibn Khaldun, Allama Abul Hasan al-Habib al-Mawardi. And his book is considered in Islamic politics the best. In that book of mine, not available here. The Urdu one is available, Islam or Siyasat, but the English one is not there, Sharia and politics. I have mentioned there that what Allama Mawardi said about this thing regarding political system. So Allama Mawardi, he has narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his last time, he said a kalima, ihfazuni fi zimmati. Ihfazuni, protect me in my zimma. Mean what I told you about non-Muslim citizen of Islamic State, please be very strict to that. And the next thing is the haraj, which is to be fixed on the agricultural land of non-Muslim citizens of Islamic State. Details are coming. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. جزاك الله خير. السلام عليكم. Come on. Bismillah.